We're going to talk about innovation and on how artificial intelligence accelerates innovation. With us today, we have Cirrus Shakeri, who is the founder, CEO of Inventurist.
The background goes back to the work that we do in a big corporation, and a lot of effort goes into creating new products. And the result is limited, if I could say positively. So that pain of all of the effort that me and my colleagues were putting into creating new solution was the reason that I started Inventurist, to look for ways where we can get help from technology to build products that would delight customers and would be successful.
What problem Inventurist is solving?
There are certain problems that are so ill-defined and so flexible. And if we could find a way for machines to help us to put some boundaries around them, that would be fantastic. Innovation is one of those problems. And so it's the problem that lends itself to automation. And if we manage to automate at least a good part of it, there will be a lot of time saving and cost saving.
Let's try to identify one specific case, one specific product.
Let's imagine that there is a company that is building traffic lights. So they've been building traffic lights, selling it to, let's say, municipalities. They put it on the streets, and that's how they've been making money. Now they are hearing about all these changes and technologies and disruption with self-driving cars. And they read an article that talks about self-driving cars talking to each other and not needing traffic lights anymore. So they get kind of panic almost, saying, are we going to go out of business because of these self-driving cars? We're doing some brainstorming and saying, well, what can we do? Can we catch up with this new wave of IoTs and sensors and cameras and connect our maybe traffic lights to other connected devices? And then maybe a crazy guy in the company says, we should build intelligent traffic lights. And then everybody is looking at that person and saying, are you crazy? What's the meaning of intelligent traffic light? And then maybe the CEO of the company or somebody says, no, well, wait, maybe he has something here. The discussion basically goes into, is this feasible for us? Do we have the technology to build it? Do we have the competencies in the company? And do we have the money to put into building intelligent traffic light? And if we were to do it, what would be the benefit of it? Who is going to be the customer of it? And if we were to build this, how long would it take? And all sort of questions that pops up in people's head. Many companies go through this process by making wild guesses and building the product. And as you know, in many cases, these products won't work in the market and they lose the money. And for, let's say, small, medium-sized companies, that's a matter of survival. Going through this process and sort of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, gaining some visibility. Some of these questions can be answered beforehand, before companies commit themselves to some of these new products.
But I want to focus on this process of innovate, and I want to take your example of there is somebody that comes up with the idea of building an intelligent traffic light. Point is, if you analyze just whatever is out there on the internet, there is not enough insight here to make a decision on something that is much, much riskier, which is one, which will be the ultimate acceptable consumer behavior. The second thing that we don't know is how the industry is going to evolve. So these are highly strategical decisions. There is a lot of guess. So how do you accelerate here the work of people with machine learning?
So now we are getting into the bolts and nuts of like how we can help the process of product innovation. So the first thing is that let's put the term machine learning a little bit on the side. And maybe in terms of technology, focus on at least what we have tried to do in terms of technology on NLP, natural language processing. And the thesis that we have here is that the answer to the question of whether we should build an intelligent traffic light is most probably out there. So my argument would be that if you bring in enough of NLP power into qualitatively analyzing what people have said and written, whether it's inside the company or outside of the company, you can do much better than the wild guesses that we are making right now if you were to build an intelligent traffic light. Because what's the alternative? The alternative is to sit around the meeting, maybe draw some picture on the whiteboard, maybe send a few email messages, maybe go and talk to some customers and come back with very spotty research in terms of whether there is an opportunity. Well, you know what? We could build these algorithms that would go to, in our case, millions of documents out there. These could be websites or Twitter sorted, basically sources, and bring all the results that if we had the time and if we had the resources, we would have read all of them to see if intelligent traffic light makes sense and whether we should build it or not.